Okay. I've been getting a little, high. That's right. Um, Annoyed, I guess. Stressed out, I guess. Irritated. All the little aggressive little things. Lately, it seems that every time I mention an issue that somebody has, somebody always mentions, but not all of them, or, but what about this one person who happens to beat the odds? And I'm trying to figure out if that is... I really don't care why people do it. It's very annoying. It's frustrating because if somebody's trying to point out an issue and you come over here and try to make light of the situation, or you try to say, no, it's not because of how I view it, whenever there's like statistics and there's proof that, there's a majority rules whenever it comes to certain people. Of course, everybody's their own person. Of course, everybody's life is different. Of course, everybody handles things different. Of course. But the majority of people, if they are a certain way, or they do a certain act, or they make a certain choice, it may lead a certain way more often than another. Now me, I'm the type of person, I'm going to vent, I'm going to say things that are on my mind, even if it's just temporarily how I feel, whatever. I change, my views change on things. It happens, it's life. Now, when I mention an issue and somebody likes to say, well, what about this? Or didn't you think this? Or didn't you think that? Who gives a crap what I thought, what I think, what I know, what I don't? It doesn't change the majority. I'm one person. That's it. The only thing I can do is change what I do that offends me to the point of ever feeling the need to say, not me, but wait, but this one time, but there's this one guy, but I know this guy, but what about the president? Really? If that's all you got going and you're sitting here about to take like a lung transplant and they say, well, the majority of people have died, but there's this one guy who's like, he's rich now and he hit the lottery afterwards. So, it's not going to freaking do anything. It's not going to change your view of anything. The thing that people need to do is, it's hard, but if you ever go out there and you really want to learn, you really care to actually know anything, and you're just not so worried about being right, do the opposite and try to prove yourself wrong. And then you'll actually end up finding even more information to back your claim, or you'll find even more information to prove you were mistaken. Being wrong is the best thing you can think, because there's proof of the day that you've learned something correct and real. This whole, but somebody has it worse, but this happened or that happened, or that. Who gives a crap? If you're not going to add your input about the reality of it, why bring up anything else? I get some people just need a boost of confidence. Some people just need that extra to be like, I can do it. I could do it. I get it. Whenever it comes down to the majority and the statistics and what is more likely to happen, it's not going to help to know the time that one guy beat the odds, or this guy over here, or this chick over here. That shit don't mean nothing to nobody but the person making the excuse to feel better about whatever they're excusing themselves for. So to sit here and say, well, somebody has it worse, or somebody did this, or I had it worse and I still did this, or I did this so you could do this. Who gives a crap? If you know a black guy who has a really good job and he's over here and he was born in the ghetto, that's not the reality of everybody's world. It's not the reality of the majority. So that's just a slap in the face to the people that you're trying to probably slap in the face. Doesn't make sense. It's just annoying. If I ask, well, the odds of people coming from single-parent homes having a long-term marriage or relationship, or having children raised in a two-parent home, the odds are significantly smaller. I mean, that's the statistics of it. So to say, oh, but what about the president? He's doing it. Good for him. But what's that got to do with the majority? That's just kind of thrown in people's faces, because I can't sit there and say, well, sweetie, even though mommy doesn't ever have a boyfriend or a husband or anybody here, you could still be the president, because look, yeah, it sounds good, but it's not realistic. You mentioning somebody being president because of the fact because I mentioned something about single parents, that's kind of saying, look, I agree, but I'm too pig-headed, so I'm going to give you this standard that's way up here. That's more likely your kid's going to get struck by lightning 5 or 6 times in his life than to reach. What kind of crap is that? You're sitting here agreeing with me, but you're sitting here too stupid to realize you are. I'm not trying to be ugly, but I really... And then another thing, like, well, Ray, you say this, you upset people all the time, you do this. There's a difference in somebody having an issue with a group or a select issue like religion or even racists, whatever the case, whoever. There's a difference between people having views of somebody or a certain group than actually going out and treating people according to that. I'm the nicest person you're going to meet. I'm respectful. I don't put myself over other people, and I don't sit there and say, well, screw it, I don't care, because I know that somebody as unimportant as me can still fuck somebody's day off. The only reason I do it online on Facebook is because it's my space, my own zone, my own area to just say what I feel like it. I don't go out into public and say, hey, this is how I feel, this is how you're wrong, this is this, that, and the other. Come on now. It's an asshole move. I'm an asshole, but I'm not that big of an asshole. Come on now. People need to think there's a difference between saying and doing. There's a difference between feeling a certain way and acting a certain way. There's a difference between opinion, fact, everything. Gotta get it together. This whole issue with racism and sexism and all this crap could be solved simply. Treat people like they're their own person and then hate them after they show you who they are. Goodness gracious.